My phone rang at 3:47 a.m. In my line of work, nothing good ever comes from a call at that hour. I answered and heard a shaking voice on the other end. Male, older, probably late 60s. "Mr. Stone, my name is Robert Sullivan. I need your help. Please." She took everything. Everything. I sat up, already reaching for my notepad. "Who took what, Mr. Sullivan?" "Elena. My girlfriend. At least, I thought she was my girlfriend." His voice cracked. "I just checked my bank account. It's empty. $500,000. Gone. Just gone." That got my attention. $500,000 doesn't just disappear. "Where are you right now?" "Home. Oak Park. I don't know what to do. The bank says the transfers were authorized. But I didn't." He broke down completely. "Mr. Sullivan, I need you to listen to me carefully. Don't touch your computer. Don't delete anything. Don't contact this woman. I'm coming to you right now. What's your address?" 20 minutes later, I was pulling up to a modest brick house in Oak Park, one of Chicago's older suburbs. Nice neighborhood, tree-lined streets. The kind of place where you don't expect financial predators to strike. But that's the thing about digital crime. It doesn't care about your neighborhood. It comes through your screen, into your home, right into your heart. My name is Marcus Stone. I'm a private investigator specializing in the cases that make you lose faith in humanity. Elder exploitation, financial fraud, the predators who target the vulnerable, the lonely, the trusting. This case was about to show me just how evil people can be when money's involved. Before we dive into this investigation, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. Real cases that could save you or someone you love from becoming the next victim. Drop a like if you're ready for the truth, because what I'm about to tell you will make you question everyone you meet online. Robert Sullivan opened the door before I could knock. He looked like hell. Red eyes, unshaven, still in his pajamas at 4 a.m. The man hadn't slept. Probably wouldn't sleep for days. "Mr. Stone, thank God." He practically pulled me inside. We sat in his living room. Small, neat, decorated with photos of what I assumed was his late wife. One photo caught my eye. A younger Robert in military uniform, arms around a beautiful woman with kind eyes. "Tell me everything. From the beginning." Robert took a shaky breath. "My wife, Linda, passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. We were married 42 years. After she died, I was lost. My kids live out of state. I was alone in this house, drowning in memories. Classic setup. I'd seen it 100 times. Grief makes people vulnerable. Loneliness makes them desperate. Predators know this. About 8 months ago, I joined a Facebook group for widows and widowers. Just wanted to talk to people who understood. That's where I met Elena. "Elena Rodriguez?" "Yes." She sent me a friend request. Said she'd lost her husband 2 years ago in a car accident. We started chatting. Just small talk at first, then longer conversations. She was so understanding, so patient with my grief. "Did you ever video chat with her?" Robert's face reddened. She said her webcam was broken. Then she said she was too shy. I should have known, right? I should have known. Mr. Sullivan, you're not the first person to fall for this, and you won't be the last. What happened next? We talked every day. Text messages, phone calls. She had this beautiful voice, kind of a light accent. She said she was originally from Argentina, but had been living in Miami for 20 years. She told me about her life, her late husband, her struggles with loneliness. Everything she said, it just felt so real. I was making notes. Facebook origin, claimed Miami location, Argentine background. All could be verified or debunked. After about 3 months, she said she loved me. I know how that sounds. I know. But Marcus, I was so lonely, and she made me feel alive again, like Linda used to make me feel. Did she ask for money right away? No. That's the thing. She never asked for anything. For months, we just talked, shared our days. She'd send me pictures, beautiful pictures of Miami beaches, her morning coffee, her cat. I sent her pictures too, of the house, of my garden, of Linda's roses that I still keep alive. Red flag number 1. The scammer had been building trust. Patient, professional. This wasn't some amateur operation. When did the money requests start? Robert stood up, pacing now. 6 months in. She said her mother in Argentina was sick, needed surgery. She was crying on the phone, devastated. Said she didn't have enough money. I offered to help. Sent her $5,000 through a wire transfer. Did her mother get the surgery? She said yes. Sent me pictures of the hospital, recovery updates, everything. 2 weeks later, she paid me back every penny. I was shocked. Most people would have just kept it. Smart. Pay back the small amount to build trust for the big score. I'd seen this tactic before. Then what? A month later, she said she wanted to come visit me. Meet in person. I was so excited, Marcus. So excited. But then she said she needed to renew her passport, and there were some issues with her visa because she was planning to stay longer, and she didn't have enough money to cover the fees and the flight. How much did she ask for? $15,000. I sent it immediately. She promised she'd pay me back as soon as she got here. Said she'd get a job, contribute to the household. She talked about us getting married eventually. The hook was set. Now came the real con. The visit never happened, did it? Robert shook his head, tears streaming down his face. Her father had a heart attack. She had to stay in Miami to take care of him. Then her car broke down, and she couldn't afford to fix it and buy a plane ticket. Then her apartment building had a fire, and she lost everything. Every month it was something new, and every month I sent money. How much total? Over 8 months. About $120,000. This predator had milked him slowly, carefully, always with a plausible emergency. Mr. Sullivan, you said $500,000 is gone. Where did the other $380,000 go? Robert walked to his computer, hands shaking as he pulled up his bank statements. 3 weeks ago, Elena said she'd found an investment opportunity, cryptocurrency. She said her brother worked in finance and had insider information on a new coin that was about to explode. Said if I invested now, I could triple my money in a month. There it was, the final play. Get the victim to willingly hand over everything. I was skeptical. I told her I didn't understand cryptocurrency, but she was so patient, explaining everything. She sent me articles, videos, testimonials from people who'd made millions. She said this was our chance, that we could use the money to buy a house together, start our new life. Did you invest? She walked me through setting up accounts on different cryptocurrency exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, some others I'd never heard of. Then she helped me transfer money from my bank, convert it to Bitcoin, then move it to this new coin she was promoting. What was the coin called? Future Fin Token. She sent me a website, a white paper. Everything looked legitimate. I invested $380,000 over 2 weeks. And then, Robert's voice dropped to a whisper. 2 days ago, the website disappeared. Just gone. I tried calling Elena. Her number was disconnected. Her Facebook account was deleted. Every message, every photo, every conversation vanished, like she never existed. That's when you checked your bank account. Yes, empty. Everything I'd saved for retirement. Everything Linda and I had built together for 42 years. Gone. I'm ruined, Marcus. Completely ruined. I looked at this broken man, this retired veteran who'd served his country, who'd lost his wife and just wanted to not be alone. And some soulless predator had systematically destroyed him for money. That familiar burn of rage started in my chest, the kind that makes you want to skip the investigation and go straight to breaking bones. But that's not how this works. You have to be smart. You have to build the case. And you have to make sure these bastards never do this to anyone else. I spent the next 3 hours documenting everything. Screenshots of conversations before they were deleted, bank statements, wire transfer receipts, cryptocurrency transaction records. Robert had kept everything, which would make my job easier. Mr. Sullivan, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Did you ever send Elena any personal information? Social security number, passwords, anything like that? She asked for my date of birth once, said she wanted to surprise me with something special. And she knew my address because I was expecting her to visit. Why? Identity theft. This could be even worse than we thought. We need to freeze your credit immediately. Also, we're calling your bank and reporting this as fraud. The bank already said the transfers were authorized. They won't refund the money. The wire transfers, maybe not, but the cryptocurrency transactions. If we can prove you were manipulated and defrauded, we might have a case. I called my guy Luis, the same tech expert who'd helped me on the David Chen case. I needed digital forensics workup, romance scam, cryptocurrency fraud. Victim was communicating with the suspect for 8 months. Everything was through Facebook, phone calls, and text messages. Send me everything you've got. Phone records, Facebook data, screenshots. I'll start tracing. While Luis worked his magic, I started digging into Elena Rodriguez. The photos Robert had received, the phone number, the Facebook profile before it was deleted. Every piece of data leaves a trail, no matter how careful the criminal thinks they are. I ran reverse image searches on every photo Elena had sent. Took about 20 minutes to get the first hit. Mr. Sullivan, come look at this. I pulled up a stock photo website. There was Elena's profile picture, or rather, a professional model's photo being sold as a stock image. The scammer had been using stolen photos. Robert stared at the screen, devastated all over again. She's not even real. The woman I love doesn't even exist. The woman in these photos is a model from Romania. She has no idea her pictures are being used to scam people. The person you were talking to, we're going to find out who they really are. My phone buzzed. Luis. Marcus, I've got something. The phone number Elena used, it's a VoIP number, routed through a service that masks the real location. But I traced the IP addresses of her Facebook logins. And 90% of the logins came from the Chicago area, specifically Oak Park and the surrounding suburbs. My blood ran cold. You're telling me this scammer is local? Not just local, man. Some of the logins came from within 2 miles of the victim's house. I looked at Robert. Mr. Sullivan, is there anyone in your life who would know details about your wife, your marriage, your financial situation? I don't understand. Elena is from Miami. Elena doesn't exist. Someone created that persona using stolen photos and a fake identity. Someone who knew enough about you to make the scam believable. Think. Who knows you well enough to pull this off? Robert went pale. Linda's friends, my neighbors, people from church. But they would never. Money makes people do terrible things. I need a list of everyone who's been in this house in the last year. Everyone who might have had access to personal information. Luis came through like always. Within 24 hours, he'd built a complete digital profile of the scammer. The FutureFin token website had been registered 3 months ago through a privacy service. But Luis traced the payment for the registration to a credit card. That credit card belonged to a shell company. That shell company had a business address in Naperville, Illinois, a Chicago suburbs again. The cryptocurrency wallets where Robert's money had been transferred. Luis tracked the coins being moved through multiple exchanges, a process called tumbling, designed to hide the money trail. But one wallet made a mistake. They'd transferred a small amount to a legitimate exchange that required identity verification. And that identity belonged to someone named Michelle Harper. I ran a background check. Michelle Harper, 43 years old, lived in Oak Park, 2 miles from Robert Sullivan's house. Mr. Sullivan, do you know a Michelle Harper? Robert thought for a moment. Michelle Harper? I don't think, wait. Linda had a friend named Michelle. They volunteered together at the hospital. After Linda died, Michelle would check in on me sometimes. Bring me casseroles, that kind of thing. There it was, the connection. When was the last time you saw her? Maybe 8 months ago. Around the time I joined that Facebook group. She stopped coming by. I just assumed she was busy. 8 months ago. Right when Elena Rodriguez appeared in Robert's life. Did Michelle know about your finances? She was at the house a few times. Linda used to talk about our retirement plans, our savings. Michelle was there for some of those conversations. But Marcus, Michelle is Linda's friend. She mourned with me. She wouldn't. Mr. Sullivan, I need you to understand something. The person who did this to you knew exactly which buttons to push. They knew you were grieving. They knew you were lonely. They knew Linda made you feel alive. They knew about your military service, your retirement savings, everything. This wasn't a random scammer in another country. This was someone close to you. The realization hit Robert like a freight train. He actually staggered, had to sit down. Michelle did this. Linda's best friend. I don't have proof yet, but the digital trail is leading right to her door. I need to investigate further before we bring this to the police. I spent the next 3 days watching Michelle Harper. She lived in a nice condo in Oak Park, drove a new BMW, wore expensive clothes. For someone who worked part-time as a hospital volunteer coordinator, making maybe 40 grand a year, she was living way above her means. I pulled her financial records. Credit card debt of $60,000, 6 months ago. Now, paid off completely. Plus, recent large purchases. New car, designer handbags, a vacation to Turks and Caicos. All in the last 8 months. All coinciding with Robert Sullivan's money disappearing. But I needed more than circumstantial evidence. I needed proof she was Elena Rodriguez. That's where things got interesting. I followed Michelle to a Starbucks in downtown Oak Park. She sat at a corner table with her laptop. I positioned myself nearby with my own laptop and a long-range wireless scanner Luis had provided. 20 minutes later, I had access to her internet traffic. Not hacking, just monitoring what sites she was visiting on the public Wi-Fi. And there it was. She logged into Coinbase, then Binance, then a VoIP service provider. The same service Elena's phone number had been registered through. I had her. I called Detective Sarah Martinez, same cop who'd helped me on the David Chen case. She works financial crimes now, and romance scams fall right in her wheelhouse. Marcus, tell me you've got something solid. I laid out the entire case. The digital forensics, the financial records, the surveillance, the IP address traces, everything. That's circumstantial, but it's building. We need a confession, or hard evidence linking her to the Elena Rodriguez identity. What if we give her the opportunity to confess? What do you have in mind? A controlled confrontation. Robert calls her, says he needs to talk about Linda, something important. She comes to the house. We're waiting. If she's guilty, she'll slip up. Martinez agreed. We set it up for the next day. Robert called Michelle. Hi, Michelle. It's Robert Sullivan. I'm so sorry I haven't been in touch. I found some of Linda's things. Letters she wrote to you. I thought you might want them. Could you come by? Michelle hesitated. Oh, Robert. I've been meaning to visit. I've just been so busy. Sure. I can stop by tomorrow afternoon. The next day, Martinez and I were positioned in Robert's kitchen. Recording equipment set up. Legal, since Robert consented to recording in his own home. Michelle arrived right on time. She looked nervous, kept glancing at her phone. Robert, it's been too long. She hugged him. The audacity of this woman, hugging the man she'd destroyed. Come in, please. They sat in the living room. Small talk for a few minutes. Then Robert, following the script we'd prepared, said, Michelle, I need to talk to you about something. I'm in trouble. Financial trouble. Michelle's eyes flickered. Interested. Oh no, Robert. What happened? I met someone online. A woman named Elena Rodriguez. We got close and I invested money with her. But it was a scam. She took everything. If you're on the edge of your seat right now, make sure you hit that like button and drop a comment below. This is where the case breaks wide open, and you're not going to believe what happens next. Subscribe so you don't miss the arrest footage. Michelle's face was a mask of concern. Oh my God, Robert. That's terrible. Did you report it to the police? Not yet. I'm embarrassed. I fell for it like an idiot. You're not an idiot. These scammers are professionals. How much did you lose? Everything. $500,000. Michelle made all the right sympathetic noises, but I was watching her body language. She wasn't surprised. She wasn't shocked. She was performing. Robert, let me ask you something, I said, stepping out of the kitchen. Michelle jumped, startled. Who are you? Marcus Stone, private investigator. I've been helping Robert track down Elena Rodriguez. And you know what's interesting? The digital trail leads right back to Oak Park, to someone who knew Robert personally. Someone who knew about Linda, about his grief, about his finances. Michelle stood up. I don't know what you're implying, but the IP addresses, Michelle, the cryptocurrency wallets, the VoIP phone service, the timing of your debt being paid off, the new car, the expensive vacation, all in the last 8 months, all coinciding with Robert's money disappearing. Her face went white. I think you should leave, she said quietly. You can leave, Martinez said, stepping out with her badge displayed. Right after we have a conversation downtown. Michelle Harper, you're wanted for questioning in relation to wire fraud, identity theft, and financial exploitation. Michelle looked at Robert, then at me, then at Martinez. For a moment I thought she might bolt. Then she collapsed into the chair, head in her hands. It wasn't supposed to go this far, she whispered. And there it was. Not a full confession, but close enough. At the station, Michelle lawyered up immediately. But she'd already said enough. Combined with our evidence, the state's attorney had more than enough to file charges. But I wanted to understand. I wanted to know why. Martinez let me watch the interrogation through the one-way glass. Michelle's lawyer advised her not to say anything. But Michelle, maybe out of guilt, maybe out of a need to justify herself, started talking. I was drowning, she said. 60,000 in credit card debt. My husband left me 2 years ago, cleaned out our joint accounts. I was about to lose my condo. I was desperate. So you targeted your best friend's widow? Martinez asked. I didn't plan it. I saw Robert on that Facebook group looking so lost. And I knew him. I knew Linda. I knew exactly what to say to make him feel less alone. It started as just a few $1,000s. I told myself I'd pay it back. But you didn't. I couldn't. The debt was too much. And then I thought, if I could just get a little more, I could invest it, grow it, pay him back plus interest. That's when I started the cryptocurrency thing. Future Fin token was fake. I know. I created it with someone I met online who does this professionally. We were going to split the proceeds. But Robert trusted me so much, sent so much money. And once I started spending it, I couldn't stop. Did you ever intend to pay him back? Silence. Michelle, did you ever intend to pay Robert Sullivan back? No, she whispered. No, I didn't. Over the next 2 weeks, Martinez and the Financial Crimes Unit built an airtight case. They traced every dollar Robert had sent. They found the co-conspirator Michelle had mentioned, some guy in Florida running multiple romance scams. They recovered some of the cryptocurrency, though most had been cashed out and spent. They also discovered Robert wasn't Michelle's only victim. She'd been running smaller scams on 3 other widowers from the same Facebook group. Total damages across all victims, $740,000. The charges piled up. Wire fraud, identity theft, computer fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, elder financial exploitation. Federal charges, too, since the crimes crossed state lines and involved interstate communications. Michelle Harper was looking at 20 to 30 years in federal prison. The trial was quick. With Michelle's partial confession and the mountain of digital evidence, her lawyer advised her to take a plea deal. She refused, wanted to take her chances with a jury. Big mistake. The prosecution put Robert on the stand. He told his story. The grief, the loneliness, the hope Elena had given him, the devastation when it all disappeared. There wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom. Then they put up the evidence. Screenshots of Elena's messages, overlaid with Michelle's own text messages to other people. Same speech patterns, Same typos, same phrases. Voice analysis comparing Elena's phone calls to Michelle's recorded voice. 94% match. Financial records showing Michelle's debt disappearing as Robert's money vanished. The cryptocurrency wallet transactions traced back to Michelle's verified identity. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was 3 months later. I attended with Robert. The judge was a no-nonsense woman in her 60s who'd clearly seen enough financial predators for one lifetime. Ms. Harper, you exploited your best friend's widower. You knew his vulnerabilities. You knew his pain. And you weaponized that knowledge to systematically destroy a man who'd lost everything. You didn't just steal his money. You stole his dignity, his trust, his hope. Michelle was crying, apologizing, saying she was sorry, over and over. Your remorse, while noted, does not mitigate the calculated cruelty of your actions. This court sentences you to 25 years in federal prison. You will serve a minimum of 20 years before being eligible for parole. Additionally, you are ordered to pay restitution of $500,000 to Robert Sullivan, plus an additional $240,000 to your other victims. Michelle sobbed as they led her away. Robert sat next to me, expressionless. "Do you feel better?" I asked him quietly. "No," he said. "I feel empty." Michelle Harper is currently serving her sentence at FCI Alderson in West Virginia. She'll be 70 years old when she's eligible for parole. The cryptocurrency? We recovered about $180,000 through asset forfeiture. Robert got that money back, plus another $50,000 from the sale of Michelle's condo and car. Still short $270,000, but something. The other 3 victims split the rest of the recovered funds. Robert moved out of the Oak Park house 6 months later. Too many memories, both of Linda and of the betrayal. He moved closer to his daughter in Arizona. Last I heard, he's doing better, seeing a therapist, slowly rebuilding his life. As for Michelle's co-conspirator in Florida, the FBI tracked him down. He was running romance scams on 47 different victims across 12 states. He's looking at 40 years federal time. I've worked hundreds of cases: financial fraud, elder exploitation, family crimes. But romance scams, they hit different. Because it's not just about the money. It's about the hope, the loneliness, the basic human need to connect with someone. And predators like Michelle Harper know that. They weaponize grief. They exploit vulnerability. They take people at their lowest point and drain them of everything. Robert Sullivan lost his wife to cancer. He lost $500,000 to fraud. But what he really lost was his ability to trust, to hope, to believe that someone could love him for who he was, not what he had. That's the real crime, not the stolen money, the stolen humanity. Here's what you need to know if you're on social media, if you're in online communities, if you're lonely and someone seems too perfect, too understanding, too good to be true. They probably are. Red flags to watch for. They refuse to video chat. They always have an emergency that needs money. They push you toward cryptocurrency investments. They know exactly what to say to make you feel special. They isolate you from friends and family who might question things. Their photos look professionally done, or appear in reverse image searches. Robert trusted someone he knew in real life. Linda's best friend. If someone you know personally can betray you like this, imagine what a complete stranger will do. If this story opened your eyes to the danger of online predators, Do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below telling me your thoughts. Have you or someone you know been targeted by a romance scam? Let's start a conversation that saves lives. I'm Marcus Stone. I investigate the cases nobody else wants to touch. And I'll be back next week with another true story from the files. Until then, protect yourself, protect your family, and remember, if someone you've never met in person says they love you and needs money, they're lying every single time. This story is based on real events. Romance scams cost Americans $1.3 billion in 2024 alone. Names and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of the victims.